Modi ore te whānau, no mai hoki mai. Welcome on into the practice run, your frontline pass to the heart of sports action. Brought to you by 99 Dreams, inspiring others to chase their dreams with your hosts, Rawiri Tukoirangi and the brother Vincent. Just unfortunately, he's not here today. We're diving deep into the thrilling world of NRL Rugby League today. And who knows where the game will take us tomorrow. From the try line to the sideline, we got you covered.
So strap in as we tackle the big plays, the game-changing moments, and the stories that define legends. Whether you're a seasoned vet or this is your first hit-up, the practice run is for everyone. Every run, every tackle, every win. Experience the rush with us.
With exclusive insight, couch analysis, and a touch of humour, the practice run is here to keep you entertained, informed, and a part of our practice squad. Because here, every practice run takes us one step closer to glory.
The Practice Squad. We're every listener's MVP, powering our play, every episode, every day. Would also like to give a shout out to 99 Dreams for powering our passion. Now let's kick things off with today's lineup.
Well, Fano, we've got an interesting show for you guys today. We're about to kick off round 4 tonight. We got a big game, Roosters versus Panthers. But before we get into any of the business today, we just want to give a huge mihi out to 99 Dreams who sponsor our video every day. They got to do a giveaway for us. We got a nice 99 Dreams paw tie to give away, 99 Dreams cap for you non-Māori speaking people out there. We will ship this anywhere in the world. So for our US listeners on Spotify, check us out. All you have to do is comment on our YouTube video with your favorite player. That's all you got to do. We'll pick one random winner to win this hat. We will draw it live on our Tuesday show. So yeah, even if you're listening on the podcast, we'll just call it out. Then we'll need you to get in contact with us, and we will get your details and send this cool as hat. And you can look like me and two. Every episode, you can just rock this thing with us, man. And hey, so come check us out, Fano. Leave your favorite player down below. Who's your favorite player, current or legend?
I mean, currently I got to go with none other than Matty Burden, of course.
It's a good pick. That's a good pick. It's hard, man. There's so many good Broncos players out there, but I think I'm going to go with Jordan Ricky just because he's a Māori boy playing in the Broncos. So I always got love for the Māoris, man. That's how we roll. So comment down below your favorite player, and we'll get one of these sent out to you ASAP. But yeah, man, you know what we do? Just so you know, brother, I beat Vincent on Tuesday show. If you haven't seen it, you haven't caught up to the episode, I did beat him. I had to hold the mana down, so I'm on a win streak now. Did you won the last one though, before you left?
I think so, yeah.
Oh, all right.
I'm pretty sure I did.
Here we go. So it goes 3, 2, 1. You know the rules, Fano. 3, 2, 1, shoot. We take it off camera, then we pull up our rock, paper, or a scissors. Whew. You know what's funny though with me and Vince? We did it off camera just to like warm up into it. We did the 1, 2, 3 shoot, and he pulled the exact same thing off camera as he did on camera, so I still won. He knew what was coming, and yeah. So that's kind of going to give you guys an insight as to what we're going to pull today, Fano. So here we go. 1, 2, 3 shoot, and up. Let's go.
Dang it.
I did that one for you, Vince. I did that one for you. He picked scissors. I went rock. So in the green room beforehand, I was like, yeah, bro, shoot. And then pull up. And I was like, I normally always go rock my first throw, bro. So yeah, mix it up. And he still chucks scissors. Oh, man, Tigers fans, what do you expect? Nothing. So, man, we missed you on Tuesday, brother. Why don't you give us a bit of a rundown of what you got up to in the weekend? How was that?
Yeah, we had Flag Nationals, which I'd been training for the last couple of months up in Auckland. It was in Flatbush, Rongamai Park, representing the Trident Whānau up there. We did pretty good. We got smoked in our first game. It's a bit of a wake-up call, but we made it out of pool play. So made it to knockout stages. We were able to win our quarterfinals, last play of the game pretty much. And then we came for our semi-final unscathed. Got all the way to the big dance. All you ever want is a chance. We gave ourselves a chance. Unfortunately, it just didn't go our way. and we lost the final 2019. So yeah, we came away with some hardware. Actually, I got it. Where is it? Here it is. Here. Got the
Yeah.
second, yeah. Um, That'll probably be the last time it comes out because it's not quite the color we want. But yeah, proud of the boys. You know, we did our thing. For our fans listening, so yeah, I just play flag football. It's Ripper version of Gridiron, 5-a-side, easy as. It's super offensive minded game. But yeah, so I was gonna be done with it. If we had won, that would have been me. I'd have been like, "Yep, I'm done. Gold medal, national champ. I'll take it." But we've got a silver.
Run it back.
Yeah, kind of got to run it back now.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So you got to do that, what Kobe did to Power Man, and just hang that silver medal up and just have it as a reminder. Obviously, Kobe hung up the gold in the locker room, but you don't have a mate that's got the gold. So you just hang up that silver and look at it every day so you know, all right, we ain't getting one of these again. That Mamba
It's hard to
mentality.
make it, Like, the tournament, it's not too, it's quite tough, but it's just so random. Like, the elite teams are pretty much even, but you once you get into those quarterfinals, if your team don't show up, you're out. Like, the defending champs out in the quarterfinals. And a couple other teams who one thought would be there or thereabouts were out early, like Wellington, Christchurch, who smacked us in the first game. All of them gone quarters.
Damn.
So it's pretty much anyone's game, and yeah, bit of controversy, but maybe that's a talk for another episode because yeah, a lot went down.
Hey, we're always down for that. Maybe it gives us something to review in the off season, my bro. I'm looking forward to it.
Definitely.
Well, quick update on me and my darts. Last night, man, we played the reigning champs, the defending champs, last year's championship team, and bro, do we get a hiding far out. We got one fellow on our team who's been playing darts for years. We call him Koro because he's old. He won one leg in every game. Couldn't quite win a game. I managed to pick up 2 legs from 2 individual people. So I lost all my games, but I picked up a leg against Brent, who's ranked in Taranaki, and I think he's on the verge of being ranked in New Zealand. I got beaten. Well, this whole team is all ranked in Taranaki, and they're all there or thereabouts in terms of New Zealand ranking as well. They all play at these big tournaments, so it was always going to be a tough game. But I managed to secure Rookie of the Month for our club. We've got 2 teams in this comp, so I secured Rookie of the Year of the month, and I've the only one at the moment to have hit a 180 so far this season. So we're doing bits, man. We're doing bits. Hopefully we can improve. I've just ordered some new darts. I'm getting the Luke Humphreys. They're slightly lighter than my Go and Price darts, so we'll see how that goes because I've been aiming for the double 20s and it's just dropping below it. So I think a lighter dart, I might be able to just wedge that right on in there. So tough season, man. Tough season. But 1 award under the belt, I'll take it.
No, that's good, man. You know, Rookie of the Year. Congratulations, my brother. Surely the first of many to come, and then facing the champs, say it's a good lesson. I remember we faced the defending champs, Hawke's Bay Heat, in the 3-game series, and they pumped us. We managed to win the last game when the series was already over. First game pretty even. Second game, bro, it was literally a lesson, just like what Christchurch did to us. It was a lesson in how to play flag, but those are probably the 2 biggest games that helped us most. We got most out of it. Had no choice but to pick it up and get our shit sorted, especially on D. But took lessons away, man. Jeez.
Yeah, you really grow a lot more with the losses than you do with the wins. Because to be fair, in my previous 2 weeks, I'd only lost 1 game, so I'd come into it winning 7 of my last 8 games. So confidence was high, but I kind of knew it'd be a very tough night for us in the office. So it was mainly lessons and just learning to stay in the game. If I can keep just chipping away, even if my first few darts are shit, we could keep to stay in it. And sure enough, the 120s and 140s came, so we got right back into the game and just missed on the doubles, man. It's I can hit the doubles when I've got all three darts at it, but when I'm going from like a 17, 20, double 20, it's those three darts I always just miss. And so yeah, don't often get the chance to clean it up at the end. But yeah, man, look, sports, eh? You love it, you hate it. You ride the highs and the lows, and we'll be doing that this season with a lot of our teams. And speaking of teams, we've got up first the Roosters and the Panthers tonight in Sydney. Roosters Allianz Stadium, right?
I believe so.
Nice. So that's going to be a big game. We've got Lindsay Collins and Sandon Smith out with injuries this week for the Roosters, and Nathan Cleary and Scott Sorensen are out for the Panthers. Lots of new players in to the reserves and interchange. This should be a big game, and I'm glad that the Panthers are without Cleary. They can try and see how their chemistry looks without him on the field. Not just out of hate for the Panthers. I have a strong hate for the Panthers, but I'm interested to see whether or not these players are as good as everyone's talking them up to be. You know, like Tango and May in the centres. Are they that good, or is it because they've got Cleary that helps steer the ship? Or on the other hand, is the team really that good and they make Cleary look better? So those are some of the things that people are trying to figure out, because last week, man, those Panthers, they just knew how to run their lines. They were hitting those holes perfectly. Like whether or not you were getting the ball, every runner looked like they were getting the ball. And that's when, he had that like three dummies. He showed the ball three times before he actually passed it, and he committed every Bronco player to that runner, even though they weren't getting the ball. And you got to give credit to those decoy runners, man. They run with intent as if they are getting that ball. I love the shape that they have, even though I hate the team, but I love the shape they have. Also hate the Roosters. Don't really care who wins this game, but I'm looking forward to it, to be honest. It's going to be a great Thursday night game tonight. What's your thoughts, and who's some of the matchups that you're looking forward to watching?
Yeah, I think this will be a good game, eh? It's going to tell us a lot about both teams, I reckon. Roosters have been looking good to start the year. What's their record? 2-1. And they've been going well. But Lindsay Collins is out. That's a big loss for them. But they can fill that gap because Jared will be there with Terrell May, who's been playing lights out this year and looks like he's going to get a contract extension there. James Tedesco's he's wind back the clock. He's looking good. Joey Manu's a superstar. And Dominic Young, bro, he's really fitted in well with that team. He's looking dangerous. Yeah. And with Luke Keary back in, him and Sam Walker, this will be a real good game, mate. I think for the Panthers, I expect Luai to step up, but I don't think he'll be the dominant half. I think he kind of likes his role as being the second person, so
yeah,
I'll expect Brad. Well, we're going to find out about Brad, right? He used to play for the Raiders, and then he went over Super League for 1 year, I think, and then the Panthers picked him up. But I expect Isaiah Yeo to probably take on maybe a bigger role, or we'll see what Dylan Edwards is about, but either way, man, I think it's going to be a good game. I know Panthers still don't have James Fisher-Harris, which is a big loss. Looks like Dane Laurie's come onto the bench, and Scott Sorensen, that's another big loss, man. I think they missed him in their first game against the Storm, the one that they lost.
Yeah.
But, yeah, look, I think it's going to be a good game. Great one to open up for tonight, for round 4. Yeah, if I had to pick, I'm probably going to lean towards the Roosters. I just like what I've seen from them. They kind of got on a bit of a roll. Victor Radley, the battle of the 13s, Victor Radley versus Isaiah Yeo. That's going to be so good to watch. The battle of the fullbacks, Tedesco, Dylan Edwards, could we be seeing a trial here for that New South Wales top? We'll see if Dylan Edwards can make that claim for the top. And then you've got the battle of the wingers, Taruva and To'o, and the ability to do major yardage out of the backfield against the twin towers of Tupou and Young. So yeah, that's going to be battles all around, man. It's going to be a great game, I hope. And yeah,
I feel like you'd see a lot of goal line high balls aimed towards Dominic Young and Daniel Tupou over top of Brian To'o and Taruva. I feel like that leaping ability of those two from the Roosters, there's definitely, what's the word I'm looking for? An advantage.
Mismatch.
Yeah,
mismatch.
A mismatch advantage for the Roosters that they should look to take advantage of early, just like the Panthers took advantage of having Piokura or Jordan Riki playing in the centre spot, just too slow to keep up with the centres, and then they gave easy ball out to the wing. So look for the Roosters to take advantage of their matchups. They do each week. And like you said, Tedesco turning back the clock. Hate the bloke. Just like, he's a good player. I can always hate good players. It's what we do, man. People hate LeBron for so many reasons. So we're just jumping on that bandwagon. Tedesco, he looks great again. Last season, he looked like he got picked just because of his name. This season, he's out. Maybe it's the new coach for the Blues. He feels like his spot's at risk, and he's trying to make a claim as to why he still is that guy. Jared Wadia-Hargreaves is a great, backup prop to have to fill in for Lindsay. I think last week he was the best Roosters forward. Man, he was in all the tackles, bro. It was the intangibles. His stats might not have shown it, but man, he was everywhere. He was looking for work. He was putting his hands up, and he was putting hits. So it was good to see. And his 300th game, he was out there with a vengeance. Hopefully, Brandon Smith can stay out there and get some more minutes this week. I need it for my fantasy team. Has been injury plagued, so Brandon, stay out there. Victor Radley, look, I want to give this guy some praise, but I'll save it for next week because I've got some money on these guys at the TAB, so I don't want to jinx it. So remind me on Monday to talk about Victor Radley and just say you're going to say it on Thursday. So if I remember, I'll tell you why I want to wrap some praise on this guy. Isaiah Yeo, I feel like he will step up. He is just a natural leader in general, and his ability to guide that team around the field is going to be something to watch. Moses Leota, I think he's going to have to stand up again and really put those forwards on the front foot, chuck them on his back, and just run up through the middle. But yeah, that's another question they were talking about the other day. Brian To'o, is he the greatest winger of all time?
Not right now. No, I don't think so.
You don't think so? Who would be your wingers that you'd rate above him? Where would you rank him in terms of top 5 wingers?
I don't know. I really haven't thought about it, to be honest. Top 5 wingers all time. NRL. Oh, jeez. I'll probably have Masuri up there, obviously.
That's just favoritism, though, right?
Wendell Sailor?
Yeah.
Maybe. Edo Carr.
Josh?
Brett Morris?
Brett Morris. I always get those two confused. Josh. Josh was the centre, eh?
Yeah, Josh was the centre, yeah. Brett was the winger. But he would be... I mean, he wouldn't be too far away. I'd say he's an elite all-time winger.
Yeah, well, because this is what gets me is, you got like Alex Johnston, right, who's kind of like a stats winger. So he's got the stats to back him up. That's kind of like we say Travis Kelce, kind of like he's got the stats, he's got the receptions, but he doesn't do the blocking. So can he be regarded as the greatest tight end of all time? Whereas you look at the Gronkowski, who's a blocker, he's a passer, he's a not a passer, sorry, he's a catcher. He gets touchdowns. He commands a lot of attention. With Brian To'o. He runs you out the backfield. He scores tries. He's there on support play. He can make tackles. You know, how many other wingers can you see doing similar whole package?
I just remembered Manu.
Couldn't catch.
Yeah, but dude was damaging.
Damaging, yeah. To both sides of the field, his own team and the other team. But that's an interesting conversation that I think maybe middle of the year, I guarantee you might be changing your tune. So
I think
I'm going to go. Oh, yeah, go.
If Fox hadn't have signed with us and was still with Storm, I'd say he probably still would have held on to the title of best winger. I just think that the fact that the Fox isn't on that Storm team, yeah.
Yeah, fair. I mean, he chose to leave, so that's on him.
Yeah.
Some team stats look like this. So the last year when the Roosters played the Panthers, they lost both games. Very big scores. We've got the Panthers beating the Roosters last time at home. It was 30 to the Panthers, 6 to the Roosters. And the second time they played in Penrith, it was 48 to the Panthers and 4 to the Roosters. This season, they both have won 2 games out of the 3. The Roosters have scored 82 points to the Panthers 60. The Roosters have conceded 37 to the Panthers 38. The Roosters with a completion rate of 80% to the Panthers 78%, both on an 87% tackle efficiency. And the wins, that's it really. Panthers have won 13 out of 29 games at the stadium, but I don't know if that includes grand final wins, so if it does, it's a bit skewed. But I've got the Roosters winning. I'm going to go 24-12.
Oh, I've also picked the Roosters to win, and I'm going with the final score of 20-16.
Nice, solid score there, and I hate cheering on either one of these teams, but I guess I got to pick the lesser of two evils, right? Which is why I've gone with the Roosters. Over to Friday night, we call this Good Friday here in the Southern Hemisphere, and it's a Good Friday matchup that you love to see. We've got the winless Rabbitohs taking on the Canterbury Bankstown Bulldogs, Two's favourites. So we'll give it to Two first to give us a rundown of what he likes from this matchup. Good Friday.
Yeah, it's one of our traditional matches. This is always penciled into the calendar, and it's tradition for, I'm not too sure, but ever since I've been following it, it's always been the Good Friday game. Rabbitohs Bulldogs, who the Bulldogs are coming off a great win against the Titans, which unfortunately I missed it. I was pretty gutted about that. And then, of course, the Rabbitohs got a hiding against the Roosters. If we have a quick look at TAB, somehow the Rabbitohs are the favourites. They are paying $1.49, with my Bulldogs paying $2.55. I can't believe that doesn't make sense to me, because one team's at the bottom of the ladder, 0-3. And so the Rabbitohs 0-3, although they've played 3 real good teams. They just look like shambles, to be honest with you. We're my Bulldogs, so we are going with the same team that got the job done. There was talk about Josh Adokar coming back into the squad, but I think they're going to save him one more week.
That's smart. It's a long season. And look how many injuries we've had so far.
Definitely. Looking at the Rabbitohs, they have gone with Dean Hawkins again. So Lachlan Ilias, or as you like to say, Elias, is still playing in the New South Wales Cup. But I think the only change they've made is, where is it? Oh, Damien Cook has gone back to starting 9. And Havili has gone from starting 9 to the 18th man.
Ooh.
So, yeah. And it looks like they've brought in Sheck Mitchell, or Latrell's brother, back into the squad. You got that rookie, Tallis Duncan, in there, who I'm a big fan of. But it looks like pretty much the same team. Look, I don't know how it's going to go. We've been smoked like the last 2 or 3 times we've played them, man. It's been ugly. and they are kind of desperate for a win, so I'm kind of leaning towards the Rabbitohs finally coming into form. We have this tendency where I know the last few years we've played teams into form. So if you're on like a losing streak, we were the team you wanted to play because we would play you into form, which is annoying. But look, it seems like we've had moments in all of our games. First game, we didn't have any ball, defended pretty well. Second game, defended for a good 60 odd minutes, lost it in the last little bit. Last game, Titans was all us, is what I heard. They had a chance at the start, the Titans, but blew it. From then on out, it was the Bulldogs. I like what I'm seeing. I think it's going to come down to our defense. What I've noticed this year is that we can defend like one set on our try line, maybe a second one, but if a team's constantly coming back, you can only repair them so much. But yeah, I mean, I hope the boys go well. Kickout's looking good. Crichton, I'm hoping, can step it up. Blake Taff, you're playing your old team, boys, so you better fucking bring it, or else, like I've been saying, credit a fullback. As we got Burden's due for a big one. Perez is playing good. Blake Wilson, he's doing enough to hold on to a spot. Liam Knight, another former Rabbitoh, so surely I'm hoping he'll have a big game and play for us and not for them. But yeah, look, I don't really know. The Souths have been all over the place, but I still expect them to kind of win. I just hope we don't get smoked. Hope our boys can put on a show and keep it close one. But in the end, I think Rabbitohs are just too good, too classy, and we'll probably play them in the form. What about you, bro? How do you see it? What do you like about this game?
Well, what I do like is watching the Bunnies lose. I've never enjoyed their jersey. I sound like the biggest hater tonight. I don't know what's got into me. I'm just hating on everything and everyone. But, I'm not a fan of the Christmas tree green and red. However, I do like what I've seen from the Bulldogs in the previous 3 rounds. Like, you guys haven't won up until you played the Titans. And yes, it's the Titans. They are unfortunate this year, to say the least. But the Bunnies, man, the Bunnies have looked helpless. And the only times they've scored, it's kind of been off the back of a bit of luck. They didn't look as strong coming out of the half as they did in the first 2 rounds. I'm not too sure if JD has lost the locker room or what's going on in South Sydney, but it doesn't look good, and it's almost crisis time. The arrival of Jack Whiten did, bring a little bit of hope. He had a decent game last week, even though it was in a loss. He played pretty well, I thought. Hawkins is lucky to be in the squad. I don't think Elias should be the one to blame or cop a lot of the hate that he has been for the underwhelming Bunnies, we'll call them. I just think the team is in need of some change, and I'm unsure where that change comes from. Maybe it's sending some of the usual boys down to reserve grade for a bit, have a jam down there and sort of get your mojo back in. It's almost as if they've got the yips. For those US listeners, you know what the yips are. You'll see it in some of your favorite baseball players. They just get the yips and they just can't play for some reason. There is a Cam Murray watch at the moment. He came off training the other day with a slight limp. He's got like something with a B in his knee. So he's got a B knee. And I think they're listing him as a day-to-day. He may or may not play. I think they're going to announce that on the night. So that's one storyline to watch this game. So if he's not there, I think those Bulldog forwards have a strong chance to really compete. I think it's interesting bringing in Shaq Mitchell. I think that might be a bit of a pick-me-up for Latrell, having his brother out there to play alongside of him. He's had a rough few games, and the media are tearing him to shreds. We won't do that here, man. I got a soft spot for the Brown brothers. The white boys, I can tear them to shreds, but it's the Brown brothers, man. I know Latrell's he just needs that one game to spark him up, and this could be that game. This could be that game where we see that Latrell magic all over again. He is a phenomenal player. He's way too good to be playing the way he is right now. However, I will turn to the stats. Although I haven't really talked too much about the Bulldogs, because I feel like their performance last week speaks for itself, and I feel like they will now have confidence and belief within themselves that the hardest win is the first win. It's not so much the second, third, fourth, or fifth. They don't matter now. You got one on the board. The monkey's off the back. You're not at the bottom of the table. That's where the bunnies are at. They're trying to get the monkey off their back. All your job is to do on Friday is to hold the ball, get through your sets, get to your kicks, make sure that you're not giving up too many errors or penalties, and make sure that Kiko is just running through everybody, man, because he is an animal. He's a dog. But we'll look at the team stats last year, right? They played each other twice. Well, the Bulldogs beat the Bunnies 36-32 in Accor Stadium.
Oh, yeah, I remember that game.
Yeah. And then the second game in April in Bulldogs home game, Bunnies put 50 on you and you scored 16. I'm pretty sure we were messaging that day too. Yeah. Because I do remember you just being so upset. So the
Because we
Bunnies
lost
scored
like
48.
4 games in a row. Like 50 points. It was ridiculous.
It was getting out of hand. But hey, look, you didn't get the wooden spoon and you guys played terribly. So you guys play good, you might get halfway up the ladder. But so far, the Bunnies have scored 48 points to the Bulldogs 46, which that's a pretty good strike rate when you think about it, right? Points conceded. The Bunnies have conceded 112 points to the Bulldogs 51. With a completion rate of 71% for the Bunnies, 76% for the Bulldogs, with a tackle efficiency of 86.1 for the Bunnies and 88% for the Bulldogs. On average, the Bunnies score 16 points, the Bulldogs score 15. On average, the Bunnies allow 37 points to the Bulldogs 17. So defense for the Bunnies is the biggest issue. And again, that man at fullback comes under fire because he's allowed a few of those tries. Just his inability to get back on defense to cover those tackles where fullbacks are expected to be. He's just having he's in a slump. I don't expect him to stay in this slump forever. I know he is a performer and he will step up when you need him the most. He's too good to be not playing in this team, but maybe if the coach is looking to do something dramatic, put him in reserve grade for a week, then get his confidence back, because I know he'll tear it up in reserve grade. It'll be like a slaughter for the other team. So maybe put him down there, then bring him back up. But who knows? I've got the Bulldogs in this game. Sorry, too. My luck isn't the greatest, but I'm back in the Bulldogs. I don't know. I have a soft spot for the underdog. I think you guys are starting to gel. I think you guys are slowly putting things together. Still don't think you guys are a top 8 team, but I think you guys can steal a few wins this season, and I think the Bunnies haven't quite figured out what they are yet. And that's why I think the Bulldogs can get ahead, because you guys are slowly showing that grit and determination. You don't really give up as much as you did last year. So I'm interested to see how this one goes. I've got Bulldogs. Let's go 36-22.
Damn, that's a high-scoring game.
Yeah, no defense, either side.
I'm picking the Rabbitohs. We're going to play them into form, and I'm going to go with a score of, let's go with 30-18. I think the boys can maybe... I think the first half is going to determine what happens. On the topic of Dean Hawkins and Lachlan Ilias and them needing a 7, do you think they could maybe nab one of the senior number 7s around? Like, I was just having a look, and how would you think? Because everyone thinks Sean Johnson's going to retire, right? At the end of the year. Could you see maybe the Souths giving him a call and be like, hey, bro, what are your thoughts of coming to play for us? Could you see Sean Johnson? Could you imagine him with this team?
He'd look great with this team. The only thing is, like, I've watched a lot of interviews with this guy. He's a big time family man, and unless Kayla Cullen is she Kayla Johnson now? I don't know. They might be married. I'm not too sure. But unless his whānau are ready to pack up and go back to Australia, I don't think he's going to do it. The whole reason he wanted to retire in the first place was because he was tired of playing in Australia, and he just wanted to come back home, be around his family again. So I'm not too sure if it's a 1 year thing, maybe, but I don't think he'd sign a multi-year deal.
I mean, the man's looking good. I don't think he should retire.
Nah, he's clean, man. He's clean. I guess we'll talk more about that once we get to the Warriors game. But up next, we're going down, or up, I should say, to Suncorp Stadium. We've got a Queensland derby on. We've got my mighty Brisbane Broncos wearing this jersey, actually. They're wearing our heritage jersey, the 1994 inspired heritage jersey. Billy Walters gets to throw on a similar jersey that his father, Kevy, used to wear. This is also the same, well, not this jersey, but the 94 version. The 95 was the same as the jersey that Darren Lockyer and I think Wendell Sailor both debut in. So a little bit of heritage with this jersey. So there's a lot of mana in it. And so I hope the boys play like the 94-95 team. Fun fact, we didn't actually win a premiership in 94-95. I think we won in 96. So I know we won 92-93, and then it must have been 96, or was it 97-98, and then 06. I think that's how it went. Something like that. Anyway, up there in Brisbane, Suncorp Stadium. Injury depleted Broncos. Man, it's tough. It is tough out here for us Broncos fans. However, there is a shining, is it called a shining light? Silver lining? Something like that. The silver lining to this game is Adam Reynolds is supposed to make his return. I hope he's healthy and I hope he's not rushing back too soon, because I'd rather him be ready for the home stretch rather than him coming back too soon, get that knee aggravated again, and then he's out for a longer period of time. We've got Tristan Sailor stepping in for the injured Reese Walsh with a fractured facial fracture. That's right. Facial fracture. Tristan Sailor is a great player. I watched him over in Napier last year when all the Origin boys were out. He was phenomenal. He's what's another word for electrifying that isn't quite because he can't be electrifying. That's Reese's thing. That's Reese's thing. Tristan is he's phenomenal. He's phenomenal. We'll use that word for Tristan. He's phenomenal. Like AJ Styles, he's the phenomenal one. But no, I like him having him there at the back. Kevy's also brought on club legend Corey Oates. He is now on the interchange. Now, the thing about Corey is that he can play in the second row and he can also play out there on the wing, which is definitely something we could have used last week. Or, if we didn't get rid of Capel, we could have shifted Capel from the second row into the centres and, we might have been all right there. But, hey, look, can't live in the past. He's now on the interchange, and I think that's for the good. Pio could have picked up, I think it was a hamstring injury at training. This guy's just allergic to being healthy, so he's no longer on my fantasy team. I'm excited if Adam Reynolds is back, because now we're going to have a bit more leadership around the field. We're going to have a little bit more direction. Ezra Mam can just do that running game, because as he did late in the second half of that Panthers game, he ran the ball really well. Yes, we benefited from a forward pass, but hey, you guys took out Reese Walsh. It's all good. It's all karma. Dean Mariner, he's showing why he is in the running, I believe, for Dally M Winger of the Year this year, or one of the two Dally M Wingers. He's just, man, he can turn something into nothing. Selwyn Cobbo, what a guy. He showed a lot of maturity last week, just standing up, playing in at fullback, covering for the injured Reese Walsh, and just doing his best out there. He made a lot of attacking plays in the second half. It looked as though a lot of those Broncos boys were unsure of what was going to happen with Reese, whether or not that was where they were going to play for the rest of the game, or whether or not they'll be shifting back. So there was a bit of uncertainty in the first half, In the second half, they came out and they looked a lot more certain about who's doing what your role is now that you've been shifted into these spots. Katoni Staggs showed a lot of resolve on defense. Tango made a lot of plays in the first half, exposing Piokura. So Kevi switched Katoni over to that side and shut Tango down in the second half. We heard nothing from him. But that stuffed things up. Well, that opened up the door for To'o and May on the other side to expose Jordan Ricky. And you can see what happened in that game there. So hopefully, look, touch wood, but we've gone 3 games and we've had 4 injuries. And I guess Piokura counts as an injury for round 4, I guess. So the curse is not looking good this season. The Cowboys, however, are rolling at the moment. Valentine Holmes is looking great. Tom Dearden is having a season, man. Scott Drinkwater is looking phenomenal back there at fullback. So that's going to be a fun matchup to watch. Is Drinkwater versus Tristan Saylor. Obviously, the battle of the halves. Both veterans, Adam Reynolds and Chad Townsend. Both premiership winners too, eh? Chad with the Sharks and Adam with the Bunnies.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I think the forwards is where the Cowboys will get us. Is Ruben playing? He's named here, but I've heard rumblings that he's injured.
Cotter.
Yeah.
The one I'm looking at, he's starting, but I could have a quick look for you.
Yeah, because I've seen all through the fantasy chat that everyone's mad because there's Cotter's supposed to be injured along with a handful of others. Finifuyaki is having a great year this year. Tomalolo is apparently dealing with a knee injury. Well, a niggling, ongoing knee injury, so his minutes have been limited, which is why you don't see him out there so often. But last week, he had a great game. Superstar on the bench, and what a player to have coming off the bench, man. Griffin Niamu. What a guy. He is something else, man. I love watching this guy on the field. I know he's going to be tearing it up against the Broncos. And if we got any money, if anywhere, let's sign Niamu, man. He's the goods. But what do you think about this game, bro? Where's your head at with the Broncos versus the Cowboys in this Queensland derby?
It must be something about Queensland derby because this game just, for some reason, doesn't move it for me. Much like when it was Cowboys versus Dolphins, I could care less. But this game, I care a little bit than that one because it's your team playing. So I'm actually intrigued to see how this somewhat of a B team Brisbane Broncos up against the Cowboys. Cowboys are still... Look, I still want to see more from them. That the first 2 games weren't too bad, and then who did they play? Oh, they played the Dragons, right?
Yeah.
So I feel as though they still haven't played like an elite team yet. And here's their chance, but they're playing a team that, they're playing a team that doesn't have Reese Walsh. There's no Payne Haas, Brendan Piokura. So, but hey, you can only play who you play. You know what I mean? So some might say just timing with them. But yeah, look, I don't really have much to say. Scott Drinkwater, they pretty much, it seems the Cowboys go as good as he goes. And if he's on song, then really do they lose? I've heard good things about Tom Dearden. Everyone seems to think he's taken their next step up. Jason Taumalolo, I know I was talking about us Bulldogs should sign him, but those knees are looking a bit old. So, look, unless he wants to come off the bench for us, I want to say though to that Griffin Niame or Griffin Neem.
It's Niame, man. He's the future.
I think they've signed him, mate, to like a...
Yeah, they'd be dumb not to.
Where is he? Current squad. Griffin, where are you? Because I think they announced it... Why can I not see you? Oh, no. This year, next year.
Oh,
2025. So that means he can talk to other teams end of this year, right? November 1.
Oh, they'll wrap him up, bro. They'll wrap him up.
Yeah, well, I mean, can they afford him? Tamalolo's still on big money. Nanai. Scott Drinkwater. They got to re-sign Ruben Cotter, Tommy
Oh,
Dearden. Oh, I don't know.
they might have to let someone go.
Yeah, because I think this was the chat about the second rowers, about Helium or
Oh,
Helium
yeah.
Lukey or because he's got a player option, and from what I've heard, he's opting in to it.
Smart though.
Yeah.
That's guaranteed money.
Mm. But oh look, that's a story for another day. But Griffin, Neem, yep, you should definitely come to the Bulldogs. We'll take you happily.
Come to Brisbane, brother. Come to Brisbane. Him and Payne Haas. Whoo, would have mean forwards.
I thought you might have went with the tall guy, Ben Takura or Benjamin.
Yeah, he's still young. He's still young. I think they're still developing him. He's there. Like he by the looks of the reserves, he's next man up for the next injury.
Yeah.
So we might see him sooner rather than later.
I thought he might have got a shot over Corey Oates, and we talked about it last game about that winger Dean what is it, Mariner?
Yeah.
Wow, he's good.
He's mean, bro. He's
mean. I like him. I like him a lot.
Hey, he's just another long list of great Brisbane wingers, man. We've had some greats in our time, and he looks like another one.
Yeah, big fan of him. What he did to AJ will not be forgotten anytime soon.
One thing I would like to touch on is there was a huge storyline last night that broke out from Fox Sports, I do believe, saying that Reese Walsh had agreed to terms of a new deal. However, that same night, Reese Walsh posts to Instagram, "Don't believe everything you read." What do you make of that, man? Do you think, and I'll tell you what I think based off of the Brisbane Bronco fan chats that I'm a part of, but what do you think about that story being broken, and how do you think both Reese and the Broncos will respond?
Oh, look, he's the one you got to lock up, right? And from what I've seen, was it 5 years, 5.5 mil? So looking at 1.1 mil per season. He's $1 million player. So you pretty much have to pay him. He's almost single-handedly turned you guys into contenders. Well, not single-handedly, but boy, he is a big part of that team. So young. He's pretty much the future. I wouldn't even call him the future. He's the now, really. Yeah, look, just lock him down, do what you got to do, and you let the chips fall where they're made with everyone else. Interesting his response though, like don't believe everything that you hear. Yeah, I don't know what to make of that, but I think everyone's expecting it, right? No one expects him to go anywhere. It's just a matter of time. Yeah, that's about all I've got on the matter, bro. What about you?
Yeah, well, there was articles early on in the year from his camp saying he's ready to sign a deal. He just wants to get it done. And then in some of the Broncos fan pages that I'm part of, there seems like the Broncos are trying to figure out long term who's off contract and when. They're trying to figure out their financial side of things, whether or not they can front load his contract, back load it, or just have it even spread throughout. They do want to lock him up to a long-term contract. They just don't quite have enough funds in the bank, so they need to offload someone somewhere, is the rumblings. Who, what, when, and how is uncertain. All I do know is the electrifying Reese Walsh needs to be signed to a long-term contract. And if he's not, I wonder where he would go. Would he go back to the Warriors? Nah, he'll definitely have to stay somewhere in Queensland because of his daughter. He'll probably go to the Dolphins.
Yep, I was about to say probably the Dolphins.
I mean, that's where every Brisbane player goes.
I'm just looking at your guys. This is on Zero Tackle. Just looking at how the roster's looking and the colour. The name I might throw out, the one that you might let go, Katoni Staggs. He's on 700.
Nah, see, we can't.
You got Cobbo there. Kotoni comes off contract next year. So he's got like this year, next year, and then nothing after that. Because Jordan Ricky re-signed, right? And Brendan Piakura both re-signed. So assuming that they
And
might have
man,
got bumper deals, so like their one might have gone up a little bit, or unless they sign, I don't see Jordan Ricky signing 3 years for $350K per year. I imagine that number's gone up. Yeah, you guys got Ezra Mann. He's there till 2028. The winger that we talked about, he's there for 4 more seasons. Paddy Carrigan and Payne Haas take up a lot of your money in the forwards. Yeah, I'm looking at who you guys can let go. It's
yeah, and I think that's what's causing this deal to take a lot longer than expected. I know both parties want it to be finalised, but yeah, I think Fox Sport breaking that news a bit early is going to annoy Reese Walsh. No one wants to have that kind of news broken when even you don't even know that it's occurred, nor the team. So the executives at Fox Sport, very lazy from you guys, and as me and Vince said the other day, media media in general have always overstepped their boundaries, and seems they're going too far once again. Reporting #fake news. So follow new media like us here at the Practice Run. We just keep it honest, keep it real, and when we hate a team, you know it. You know it. So then you'll know that the news is going to be honest because we'll be cheering that the news is bad news for that team, or will be gutted because that news is good news for that team. I'll just quickly run over the stats for the Cowboys and the Broncos. The Broncos won both games last year, 30-14 up in North Queensland, and then at Suncorp it was 28-16. So both times the Cowboys struggled, but they didn't have a great season last year. The Cowboys are undefeated this season, and we have only managed to pick up 1 win. We've scored 50 points to the Cowboys, 110. We've conceded 72 to the Cowboys, 60. How do they concede 62 points versus the teams that they've been playing? They played the Dragons, the Dolphins. Was it the Dolphins? No, it was Dragons, Titans, and the Knights, and they've conceded 62 points. We've played the Roosters, the Panthers, and the Bunnies, and we've conceded 72, only 10 more. And that would have been because of the game against the Panthers. So, hey, there's hope. There's hope. The completion rate for the Cowboys is what looks great. It's at 81% to the Broncos 74%. Both teams have a high tackle efficiency. The Broncos have 87.8 to the Cowboys 89.2. Average points scored per game is 16 for the Broncos versus the Cowboys 36. Average points conceded is 24 to the Cowboys 20. At this venue, the Cowboys have only won 13 out of 30. So, big game, 10 o'clock kickoff here in New Zealand. Kickoff time on Sky Sports. So, I'll be tuning in for that. I'm going the Broncos. Let's go. I still think we got some attacking power with Mam, Cobbo, Mariner, Sailor, Staggs, Jesse Arthurs, Adam Reynolds if he's back. So, 26-28 Broncos.
Oh, picking a close one, eh? I've gone with the Cowboys on this one. This could be a statement game for them. You got to take advantage of this opportunity. No Reese Walsh, no Payne Haas, Brendan Piakura. It's a depleted team, so you got to strike while the iron's hot. So I've got the Cowboys winning 24-12 is the score I've gone with.
12. We scored 12 last week with players out of position. And no Reynolds.
That's my score, man.
And no Reynolds. Come on now, you got to give us more. And we were playing Panthers. We still scored 12. That's a team that doesn't concede many points versus a team that concedes 70, 60.
Yeah.
All right. I see you. Over to Saturday. Nice. Get a sleeping after Good Friday. And then we got Saturday night, the Dragons going up against Manly Seagulls. It's a home game for the Dragons in Wollongong. I love saying that word. It's a weird word to say, Wollongong. I don't even know where that is, but I'd love to go there one day. We'll go watch the Red V go play in Wollongong. Yeah, man, I talked a lot in the last game. You give us a run through of this one.
Yeah, look, yeah, I have no problem taking over. Once again, you know what? I said it. I think I've said it a few times. Dragons. I don't know what it is about them. I just don't like watching their games. No, I don't apologize for it. And this is kind of the same with Manly too. Unless Travojevic, Tom's the only reason why I really watched him, to be honest. So yeah, good thing he's in this team. Look, I know you were high on Sloan, not the Dragons, but Sloan. And as you know, I am not. I picked him to win the wooden spoon at the start of the year, and if things continue the way, they could be in a battle with the Titans for that wooden spoon. Look, I expect this to be a dominant victory for the Sea Eagles. Luke Brooks has looked amazing. Daly Cherry Evans just doing Daly Cherry things. Tom Travojevic is a superstar that he is. And you've got Jake and Ben locking it down. I just don't know where the Dragons go, to be honest, because I know Zach Lomax doesn't want to play wing, but he's playing really, really good. He's low-key working his way into Origin contention as a winger. And he's getting the ball more. He's getting good yardage. I think he's making the most meters out of anyone on the Dragons and taking the most runs. And he looks good there. So, look, I just don't really know what they do. Like, their forward pack just doesn't really cut it for me. Francis Mollo, Blake Laurie. I don't know why Jack the Balance off, coming off the bench. I don't understand that one. Like, their team looks solid on paper, but I just have a lot of questions about this Dragons team, to be honest. And Shane Flanagan, good coach, but look, like I said, I don't really like them, so I don't really watch them, so I don't really have an opinion of them. I just like it when they lose and get smoked, which hopefully the Sea Eagles will be doing. You got Tommy at the back there. Kohler is so quick; it is ridiculous. I'd like to see him and Saab have a race. That'd be a good one to watch. Ruben Garrick, reliable as ever. Jackson Polo, he's holding on to a spot, but I think he's going to be there for a while because Sab is out for a long time, I'm pretty sure. And you've got Olakawatu. He's looking damaging as ever. He's going to be there or thereabouts for Origin. If they bench Kyle Lawton, is he back? I thought he was injured. Not too sure about that one. Nathan Brown, I don't know how he's still around. You got Corey Waddell and Ethan Bullymore. I'm just going to keep it short and simple. Dragons, I hope you get smoked. I know you're at home, but I'm definitely picking Manly to win. And Zach Lomax, man, you might just... If you keep playing the way you are, it's going to be hard not to pick you at wing. Kyle Flanagan, he looks good playing under his dad. He doesn't have that pressure anymore. He had so much pressure playing for us. So it's good to see him looking half decent. And Raymond Faitala Mariner, it's pretty sad to see him go. He went from our club captain to out of the club. He looks half decent as well. We definitely could have did with him. But look, they both needed to go. I think they both needed a change of scenery. You know, they knew nothing but losing with us, and it's going to continue with the Dragons, you bunch of losers. Yeah, mate. I'll hand it on to you.
Yeah, look, hey, they call him Zach Goat Max because he is out there balling. He's single-handedly keeping this team on his back. He's doing wonders for me in fantasy. I'm loving it. Tyrell Sloan, he's still a great fullback, still riding high on him. I'm not too sure what it is, man. The Dragons, they came out and struck early against the Cowboys last weekend, and then all of a sudden they just couldn't stop the onslaught from the Cowboys. So I don't know what happened. They had a try scored on them, and then they went and scored 3 tries unanswered. And then, yeah, they just, I don't know where or how it happened. They just couldn't keep themselves in the game. So who knows what's going on at the Dragons. We do know that they are capable of wins. And hey, look, Lomax is out there playing his ass off. Like you said, he can play his way onto the wing at Origin level, and I wouldn't be mad at it. With the Sea Eagles, this is my favorite time of the week because we got the JTB trifecta. I think this could be a game where the JTB trifecta comes into play. If you don't know what that is the Jake, Tom, and Ben all score an anytime try. That's paying $15 I've got on that, and it's going to pay out $765. So if all three of those lads score a try, that's good for us. Look, I'm loving Olakau'atu. He's having a great season this year. So is Paseka. High on Paseka, man. He is a great prop. And like we said in previous episodes, man, Luke Brooks looks good in Manly. I don't know any Manly fans, but you guys must be happy. All three of yous must be happy. Luke Brooks, he's doing bits, and like we say, it's because we think anyway, it's because he doesn't have to be Batman or Robin. He can just sit back and be Alfred and just play his game, and he's really shown that potential that was placed on him at such a young age. So happy to see it. I am looking forward to this game, not going to lie. I've been enjoying watching the Dragons games, even though they've been getting hidings. They've actually just been fun games to watch. Either team, because I'm a neutral, so it doesn't really bother me who wins or loses. I only get stressed out on one game per week. Last year, Manly got the first game in Wollongong. It was 24-18 to the Sea Eagles, and the Dragons got the second game. It was 20-6. So I'm assuming that game was during Origin, why they only scored 6 points. With the current wins this season, Manly have won 2 of 3, and the Dragons have won 1 of 3. That win coming against the Titans in round 1. The Dragons have scored a total of 52 points to the Sea Eagles 81. Points conceded is 88 to the Dragons, 66 to the Sea Eagles, with a completion rate of 78% for the Dragons and 75% to the Sea Eagles, which let them down last week, which is why they lost. Tackle efficiency of the Dragons is actually pretty good, considering they allow so many tries, which is surprising to me. So their tackle efficiency is 90.8% to the Sea Eagles' 85.5%. Average points they score per game is 17 to the Sea Eagles' 27, and the average points conceded is 39 to Sea Eagles' 22. Sea Eagles have only won 2 out of 11 games at this stadium here in Wollongong, so that's a stat to look out for. I'm like you. I'm going to go with Seals because they lost last week. So they'll be looking to bounce back. And unfortunately, I think the Dragons are the team that are going to have to face that shellacking. I do like the Dragons and I do want to see them do well this season. I don't want them at the bottom. We all know the Titans are going to be there now, though. But I don't want the Dragons to be at the bottom. I want them scrapping around and, getting ahead of a few teams. But yeah, I'm going to go Sea Eagles. I'm going to give them 36-24. 36-18. We'll go 36-18.
I've 36-18, eh? Yeah. So obviously I've got Seagulls, and I'm gonna go with a score similar to yours. I think I can see the 36, but I'm gonna go 36-6. I think this is gonna be an absolute hiding, and I hope it is. I just noted, just looking at the team again, because Ben's playing so well, that means Schuster once again isn't in the 17, and he isn't even in the 22. Look, I know we talked about Schuster. He's there for like another 4 years, bro. 800K is his deal.
Wow.
Bro, I just had it before. Let me just quickly bring it up. 800K. And he is there till 2027. Now, I said there should be a team that should go out there and just see if he's available. I throw out the Tigers' name because I think, Benji, with the Benji connection, him saying he had the best debut he'd ever seen. But the Dragons are a team that's looking for players. So why
They've got
not?
money.
I'm just saying, Dragons, why not? Like, I know you got Flanagan there, but Ben Hunt and Schuster as your halves, or maybe they put him at second row. I always pinned him as I would like to see Schuster as a 13. Like they're ball playing, maybe even bring him off the bench as the 14 and then play that role. I think he'll kill it there with tired forwards when he comes on, and just his ability to ball play. He's a big body, so he wouldn't really have to get in shape anymore. Maybe even put on a little bit of weight and just run hard and use his finesse. But look, Dragons, you keep striking out with everyone. You wanted the May brothers, didn't get him. You tried with the superstar Manu, didn't get him. All I'm saying is that Eagles have a player that they're paying 800k, can't even crack the 22, let alone the 17. He's meant to be there for 4 more years. Why not give it a call? That's all I'm going to say. I'll leave it at that.
Worst I can say is no. Worst I can say is no. All right, so then we'll head over to the main event of Super Saturday. It is at Cbus Super Stadium on the Gold Coast. It is the second Queensland derby of the weekend. And the big storyline here is David Fifita is slowly getting ready to come back to playing. He is named as the 18th man on the squad, so he's on the bridge of coming back, and you guys need him after 9-year Tino went down. We were saying 10-year Tino, but he's wasted a whole year now being out with his ACL, so unlucky Titans. That's a waste of money. You should have learned from the Cowboys and how much money they spent on Tom Malolo to know that 10-year Tino was going to be injured for at least a couple of them. It's just inevitable. They're too high of a work rate. Anyway, the return of Jaden Campbell this week. Where does that leave Keanu? Probably somewhere way, way, way deep into reserve grade. Yeah, look, this game, if you're a Dolphins fan, you are going to expect this to look like a trial match. The Titans look lackluster this season, and they look poised for that wooden spoon. Look, Kieran Foran's going to have a lot of work to do, him and Tanner Boyd in the halves, to try and steer this team around. Jade Campbell at the back there can do bits. Lofiana Khan-Pereira, he can do bits out there. But man, the Hammer's going to have a field day. I got him on a triple, bro. I got him getting a triple this week. I feel it, man. Look what he did versus, well, it was the Dragons, where they put bloody... Yeah. So, and he did bits. He did bits, man. So I'm expecting him to do bits again this week. They've had a bye last week, so they're feeling refreshed. They got a lot more energy. The bodies aren't tired and sore. Bloody Jeremy Marshall-King, hopefully he's got his head back on together after getting belted the other week. Kafusi is back. I know Flegler's looking good. I'm sure he's going to run through the middle. Yeah, I'm looking forward to this game. It's going to be a fun one. Just because I've got the Hammer on my fantasy team, so I just want to see him do really well. Your boy Alvarillo is back on the team. I know you're not a big fan of these Queensland derbies, but I like to see what the little brothers get up to. And it's like, oh, cute, you want to beat Broncos. What are your thoughts on this Saturday night game?
Yeah, well, you heard what I said about 10 minutes ago, and once again, Whānau, same rule applies. These Queensland derbies they just don't do it for me. But look, I think it's going to be... Where the blood hell did it go? Look, I do expect the Dolphins to win. What gets me about these Titans is that on paper, they have a solid team, a team that should be there or thereabouts for the top 8, but for some reason, it's just not happening this season. Now I get, Tino, 9-year Tino's out. David Fifita, he's 18th man, so he might be back. But yeah, I really don't know, Like, I don't know what to say to them or make of them. Everyone thought they were going to get better because Des Hasler's there. He's a proven coach, he's a premiership winner, and everywhere he goes, they always get better. But these first 3 games, or first 2 games for them, just hasn't looked good. And I was reading an article somewhere that said, because Des is a defensive coach, right? That's what he focuses on, and he plays high percentage league, so high completion rate. That's what he expects of his team. Just grind him out. And that they've said that the teams that he's done well is because they've had creative halves. Well, you got Kieran Foran and you got Tanner Boyd. Kieran can do a job, but he's not really. He's never been like a creative halfback, right? So, I mean, yeah. Look, when those are your halves, well, what do you expect? I don't know how AJ Brimson's been doing at centre. I feel as though he should make the move into the halves. And just spark something because he's a classy player, man. If you're not going to play him at fullback, where Jaden Campbell is, I feel as though he's lost in the shuffle at centre. Looks like we said with Schuster. I'm just saying. A lot of teams I think could do with a Schuster. Obviously not for 800k, but surely you could get him for half that. You could convince, or maybe not half, but maybe you get him for 550 or 600, and then Manly just pay the other 200 to offset the contract. But Dolphins, look, the Hammer should have a big day. Everillo and Herbie, I like that center combo. This Jack Bostock, he's been good, and I think the news coming out of Dolphins is Katoa has re-signed. I think I seen something that said he has re-signed. Cody's doing enough to hold on to a spot. I still think it should be Katoa and Sullivan. That's just me personally. But you can tell that you can tell Jesse's older. You can tell that forward pack needs some youth, man. Yeah. I like that Max dude though. The last game I watched, he played well, and that the number 15, the Kurt Donahue, he played really well when Nikorima had to go for his HIA, bro. He really impressed me. So good to see he's still in that squad. And look, you've got people like the likes of Kenny, Sean O'Sullivan, and Tessie New that can't crack the 17. So that lets you know that there's a bit of depth there. But yeah, man, look, if I had to give you a score, I'm going to roll with the Dolphins. Final score. You know what? Let's do it. I'm going to go 40-12. Another hiding.
See, I was thinking something similar. I was thinking 42-8 to the Dolphins.
Ooh.
And this is why last year in the previous meeting, so the Titans have yet to beat the Dolphins in their existence, although the stats are limited because Dolphins only came about last year. So the Dolphins won 23-21 in their first outing. And then the Titans won. Then the Dolphins won their second game up in probably at Suncorp because the Dolphins don't really have a stadium. And that game was 28-26. So they were close last year. However, this time there's no 9-year tenure and there's no Fafita to save them. I'm going with the Dolphins, because they're coming off a bye week. Before that, they had a 38-0 trouncing of the Dragons. They did lose the opening round 18-43 versus the Cowboys, but I don't think they're going to let that happen again this week. 42-8, and I've got Hammer man of the match with his triple. Sunday night, it's... Oh, you got to carry on?
No.
Easy. Well, Sunday night, what is that? Good Sunday? Easter Sunday. Easter Sunday, yeah. I was just like Good Friday, Good Sunday, Good Monday, just all of them. It was a Good Friday, better Sunday, best Monday. Here we go. So we've got Warriors versus the Knights at Go Media Stadium in Auckland at 6:05 p.m. Warriors fans, get out in the trows. I'm pretty sure this game is sold out, so you guys do you. Outs, there's no Laban and no Tuopiki. Why is Laban out? He was never even in the squad. He was in the reserves. I know because he's on my fantasy team. I'm waiting for him to come in. I liked what he did in preseason. Anyway, in this week is Adam Pompey, Ali Liatua, Taua, Dylan Walker, Marata Nukore, Tamaire Martin, and Wade Egan. Is Tamaire Martin actually on the bench? No, he's not. He's still in the 18. No. He's still in the reserves. Mate, I'm sick of watching Luke Metcalf. He's overrated. He's just lucky he scores a few points or like gets people over the line out of like miracle plays. But 9 times out of 10, man, he's not got his head on the swivel. He's holding on to the ball too much. He's not getting it to Roger early. He ran Marcelo Montoya out of room last week and gave him nowhere to go except out of bounds when he gave the ball to him. So I don't like him. He's a bonehead. They gave him an extension. Shame. Lose some more. I guess the Warriors are allergic to winning. Anyway, that's my hate rant over. I'm excited to see Roger back at fullback. He looked great when he had a little stint at fullback last week when Tuopiki went off. Unfortunately, that's probably the last we'll see of Tuopiki, with Chance scheduled to come back next week. Dallin on the wing, man, he's just solid as ever. Rocco Berry is having a season this year. Like, man, he looks good. He looks good, man. Adam Pompey, Broncos' favourite player anyway, back in the side. He'll actually, I think, have a good game. He's been out the first few rounds and just watching from the sideline, so I think he'll be ready to get in there and do a job. Sean Johnson having a season. He's still carrying a hamstring injury, which is why you don't see him kicking the ball. So fantasy owners are mad because he's not kicking, but hey, it is what it is, man. He's injured. He's trying to play the long game. Adam Fanua-Blake is just carrying on from where he left off last season, just bowling people over, scoring tries. I think has he scored a try or almost scored a try in every game so far this season? I think he has scored a try that's been disallowed, which didn't really class as a try one game. I'm pretty sure. Mitchie Barnett looked like a great prop out there last week. I think he made our team of the week this week. Capel's doing bits. Tohu Harris, he looks old, but man, he still puts up numbers, bro? Like, he moves terribly out there sometimes, but he's still putting up the numbers. I'm like, bro, you look broken, man. He's putting his heart and soul out there for you Warriors fans, so you guys better pay him back, man, and show him nothing but love. The big return, though, I still think it's questionable, but Egan's named here to be starting. He was named there last week and didn't actually play, so I don't know about that one. We'll see how that plays out. The Knights still can't figure it out. They're winless like the Bunnies. I think they're relying too much on Kalen, whereas I think the Bunnies are hoping Latrell steps up, whereas the Knights are forcing Kalen to try and do too much. There's not too many people helping him out, although they did come off a big win in the weekend. It was, however, against the Melbourne squad that was, like the Broncos, depleted. No Hughes, no Munster, and no Nelson Asofa-Solomona, amongst others. So they still look like pretenders. They don't look like contenders. When you've got that many players missing from a Melbourne Storm team, you should punish them, much like what the Panthers did to the Broncos on Thursday night. That's what you should have done. They don't quite look like they're there yet, and they don't have a great record in Aotearoa. So I've got the Warriors. I'm still on that Warriors bandwagon, baby. It was good to see them get a win last week, and down there in Ōtautahi. So yeah, I've got the Warriors, brother. I've got the Warriors. What are you looking at, man? What's some matchups here that you're going for?
Yeah, look, I think seeing RTS back at their fullback position is going to be good. I expect him to be a little bit rusty, but I mean he's just a classy player, right? And Chance and Tuopiki better hope he has a bad game, because if he plays lights out, then it's going to give questions to Webster, see what he does. But he's just class, and you have to have him somewhere in your team. So yeah, expect Roger to do Roger things. Luke Metcalf, I think he's doing a job. He's doing a job. SJ just controlling the show. Yeah, I'm not too sure if Egan is going to be there as well with that injury. But I think of all the weeks leading up, this is the one where I wouldn't be surprised if he does play. I don't know if Freddie Lussig's down to 14. I could see them making a shift with Chanel taking over that spot. And is this Marata Niukore's first game back?
I think so.
I mean, he's huge, right? So now, I mean, Jackson Ford, Capewell can maybe have a spell, unless you just use him as a prop off the bench. Look, the Knights, I mean, they won last week, right? So you've got to give them credit for that. I'm not too sure if Jaden Brayley played last week, but he's another one that's made of freaking glass and is always injured, but he's in their number 14 spot. Hard to say with this Knights teammate, Kalen Ponga. I mean, Dan Gagai Did he still look good last week? Because to me, he's looked real good this season. He looks strong, man.
Yeah, no, he was still doing bits. I think their standout player last week though was Paul Pierce. He was doing mean.
Oh, okay,
Yeah,
yes,
yeah,
yes.
Celtics legend.
Yeah, yeah. He's young too.
Yeah,
He's young. He's the one that came over from England.
is he from England?
Yeah, bro, he's from England. Yeah,
So he'll probably end up at the
yeah,
Raiders at some point.
yeah. Wow, wouldn't be surprised. Look, to be honest, I don't really got much to say about this. Adam Pompey. Wouldn't be surprised if he does something stupid. I get that from you guys. You just love to hate him. Look, I don't care for him. I mean, but yeah, look, if I had to pick a team, the Wars seem to be on a bit of a roll. They could have easily been 3-0, but they are 1-2, and I do expect them to win at Go Media Stadium. So I'm going to go final score Warriors. Let's go with 28-16. That would be my score.
Okay, I like that. So the last time they met, obviously, was in that elimination game. Warriors at home, and they pounced Newcastle 40-10. The previous time they met, it was 34-24, and I don't have the game when they were in Wellington, but I'm pretty sure the Warriors won that one, eh?
Mm-hmm.
So I've got to go Warriors. Like I said, the Knights don't do too well over here. Might be the travel, a bit too long of a lag. Based off the previous weeks, the Knights have been scoring pretty mediocre. I'll have to go Warriors 34, Knights 24. So far, they've both won a game each, so it's a 33% win percentage each. The Warriors have scored 56 points and conceded 56, whereas the Knights have scored 46 and conceded 61. Warriors have a completion rate of 79%, to the Knights 73%. Tackle efficiency, both have an 89% tackle efficiency. Average points scored is 18 to the Warriors, 15 to the Knights, with average points conceded being 18 to the Warriors and 20 to the Knights. Look, if the Warriors can maintain ball, get to the kicks, make as little errors as possible, then I think they'll be in. That's the one thing that's kept other teams in the fight each week, is that they have silly little errors creep into the game, and the other team can come on back, build up some momentum, and put the Warriors under pressure. They do it to themselves every week, but they aren't a horrible side where it's like they're letting themselves lose. They just sort of just get in a rut, and then the other team can mount a comeback. But they are a well-coached side. Webster's doing great things over there in Auckland. I've got Warriors, yeah. They just, come on, boys, at home for the fans. You lost the first one at home. Surely the lights, the smoke, the action is going to get in the Knights' head. So I think, yeah, Waz, up the Waz. Here we go. Is this a Sunday night game too? Sweet as. Is there a Monday game? Choice.
Yeah.
Yeah, you want to lead out on this one?
Yeah, so the second Sunday night game is the Sharks versus the Raiders. The Sharks coming off that embarrassing loss to the Tigers. I cannot believe that happened. And the Raiders coming off that tight loss against the Wars. So both teams coming off an L, their first of the season. So they'll both be looking to bounce back. Sharks are at home. Yep, PointsBet Stadium. Look, I've actually in favouring the Raiders on this one purely because of how many forwards the Sharks have lost. So, just where's their injury? I had it before. So, just looking at the Cronulla Sharks, these are the players not playing. Dale Finucane, he's out. Toby Rudolph, out. Royce Hunt, out. Braden Hamuel-Uele, out. You got Britton Nakota suspended. That's what, five players that would no doubt be in their team, and they are all in the forwards. So that's just hard to replace. There's pretty much a whole new. Here's their starting forward here. You got Thomas Hazelton, Blake Brayley, Oregon Kafusi, Talakai's been shifted from centre to second rower. Tableton and Cameron McInnes. I mean, that's a lot. That's a lot of changes, and yeah, I just don't see how you replace that in their meters. There are two things from the two games that I've seen from them, which stood out has been their bench and their ability for when their bench forwards come on to change the momentum of the game. And Hazelton, I think, is a great prop off the bench. You had Del Fanukin coming off the bench. And I think you had Royce Hunt was starting, and I think it was Kafusi coming off the bench. So look at, you've got your props who normally come off the bench. They're starting for you now. And you got Jack Williams, Billy Burns. I'm glad that Tukuho Tapuha finally gets his shot. He looks good. I think in the trials he looked really good as well. The one thing I'm looking forward to is the centre of Iro. How do you say that? Is that K?
Kale.
Iro. They have been talking about him for years as their next guy up. He pretty much dominates in the lower grades. He's a big centre, big body, but he could never crack it because you got Ramian and you got Talakai there. So he finally gets a shot. Look, I think they'll be competitive, but I mean, you're going up against a team that has Josh Papali, who seems to be winding back the clock. Joey Tapine, one of the best props in the game. Hudson Young, Elliot Whitehead, and Morgan Smithies does not look out of place. He hasn't set the world on fire, but he's not. I want to say he's a dud by. He's looking good in the NRL. He's proving that he belongs, and he's been playing so good that Corey Horsburgh can't even crack the 17. So that just shows you there.
I think he's coming off injury.
Yeah, but he's back now, and he still can't crack the team.
I feel like it's a cautionary extra week off, and then he'll be on the team.
Who's he replacing?
I don't know. Hosking.
You can't drop Hosking. Dude's been lining it up. I can't believe when I know he's the captain when Whitehead came back, but I thought he would have came back via the bench. Yeah, look, I like the Raiders team. Strange has been doing good. Savage kind of doing his thing. Jordan Rapana, all you guys know that I absolutely love that dude. He makes my team any day of the week. And the revival of Danny Levi,
Yeah,
we've been talking about it. Yeah, but yeah, just because of all those injuries, man, that's the only reason why I'm going with the Raiders. I think Nico Hines will keep them in the contest, but that's just too much to overcome, especially against the forward pack they're going against. So yeah, I've got the Raiders. What about you, bro? How do you see it?
Yeah, I'm in your waka, brother. I'm in your waka. I think, and it showed last week. Nico Hines is only one man, and he can't do it all. He tried, but he can't do it all. And Ethan Strange, he's just getting better each week. I just love seeing his confidence grow. Danny Levi, he's doing bits, man. It's just so good to see him back doing his thing. Tapine and Papali'i, bro. These guys are going to get eaten up for breakfast. And Smithies, like you said, he's not spectacular, but he does his job. I feel like he's a bit of like a glue guy. He's just there, and you need that just to keep everything together. One thing I'm not looking forward to in this game is listening to the commentators absolutely butcher Tukuho Tapuha. That's just, yeah, I know it's going to happen. I don't know how they're going to say it, but I know it ain't going to be anything that we want to hear. Hopefully let's call him Tuku. Yeah, because if they try to go with that last name, it's just going to be horrible. Karoha, my bro. Yeah, it's good to see Corey Horsburgh back in the fold a little bit. He's out there in the reserve, so it'll be interesting to see if he can come back next week. Fogarty's carving up in fantasy. Everyone's talking about Fogarty. I'm loving what Matthew Timoko is doing in the centres as well. He's been quite solid week after week. Savage, he's a ball player, man. So it's at Shark Park in PointsBet Stadium, Sydney. Last year, both teams won one each. in their most recent matchups. The Sharks, I'm assuming this would have been in the finals, maybe. There's September. I know September's around playoff footy, so I can't really tell you if it is or isn't. But anyway, it goes 24-6 to the Sharks and then 24-20 to the Raiders in the middle of the season. So far, they've both won 2 apiece at 67% win rate. Sharks have scored 47 to the Raiders 70, and the Sharks have conceded 50. Most of those came last week, by the way, to the Raiders 42. Sharks have a completion rate of 75 to the Raiders 87%. Sharks have an 86.9 tackle efficiency to the Raiders 89.4. Sharks on average score 15 points and allow 16 to the Raiders 23 scored and 14 allowed. Based on that, I'm going to go with 26-16 to the Raiders.
26-16, eh?
Yeah.
I will roll with a final score of, I'm going to go with 24-18. So yeah, similar to your one. 24-18 is my final score.
Nice. And then the last game of the round, the West Tigers are taking on the Parramatta Eels at home for Parramatta at CommBank Stadium. The biggest news coming out of this is the loss of Mitchell Moses. I think he's out for 6 to 8 weeks with a broken foot. That is a huge loss for the Eels fans. Moses is on fire. I think he was doing bits there to put his name forward as a Dally M competitor for that 7 spot. Not as the overall Dally M medalist, but in terms of halfbacks, he was definitely putting his hat in the ring. It sees that Blaze Talangi now moves from the centres. He played in the centres last week. I think he was covering for Micah Seville, which put Harper on the wing and Blaze into the centres. Now Blaze will be playing 5'8", and Dylan Brown has gone to halfback. Whew, that's going to be fun to watch. Lussick, who's having a season, so good of a season that Hands is in the reserves playing reserve grade footy. Hopgood's out there balling, Cartwright's balling, Junior Paulo and RCG are having a season, but man, how good is Lachlan Galvin? Have you watched the Tigers game yet?
No, I have not. And hey, remember, he was the rookie I said to watch out for.
Bro,
so he's living up to the hype.
Bits. He is doing bits, man, and I love to see it. I got him in round 2 because they had the bye round 1, and I just needed to pick up a cheap half. And I seen after we did our show that day, and he was named. I brought him for 230k. He's now worth like 330, and probably worth more at the end of this one. So he's a cash cow. I want to be trading him out and picking up a Nico Hines sometime in the future. But yeah, loving what Lachlan Galvin's doing, and these young players of today's generation just don't care about making mistakes. They make one mistake, go back 5 or 10, and then they forget about it. They just play on and make a big play, the next set. So I'm loving the mentality of these young guys. Justin Olam had a game last week. And me and Vince talked about it. Do we think it's because of Benji's sort of Pacific Māori background, his want to spend time with whānau relates well with these Indigenous players and Māori boys and Pacifica boys that, they're all about whānau too. So Benji having that whānau first mentality means that these players feel like their actual personal lives matter, and you can see them wanting to play for Benji. They had a great game the other night. Uppy didn't look so alone. He was just, Uppy with a couple of friends. I don't know how to say it, but he didn't look so alone. He still looked, on his own out there sometimes, but he didn't look like he had no mates. This forward pack isn't too bad. Definitely could do with some depth in the future if they especially want to contend. But I'm liking how they look. I'm interested to see how Lachlan evolves throughout the season because I'm assuming the Tigers want to keep him there and maybe shift him to halfback and have Luai play 6 next year. But yeah, I guess that's something we'll keep an eye on. I mean, if Benji knows how to train halves, if anyone knows how to train halves, it'll probably be Benji, and he'll probably bring in the likes of Scotty Prince and others that he's played alongside of to help these boys as well. Other than that, I'm not too sure, man. I'm probably going to go with the. Did I say Tigers on my bet slip? I think I did.
I think you might have.
Yeah, I did. I don't know, man. I don't know. I feel like people are underestimating them. The Eels, although they are coming off a loss, so they probably want to bounce back this week with a win. No, they won last week, eh? They bounced back from the Panthers with the win. Yeah. So, yeah, I think the Tigers can have a bit of confidence now. Like I said with the Bulldogs, they've got one on the board. One's always the hardest to get. The rest sort of, it doesn't matter. It's the same as 180s. The first one's always the hardest, but the rest sort of just keep coming after that. I'm not going to say that they're going to be, winning week in and week out, but I think this is a game that the Tigers could have some belief in that they can win. I think they'll win in the halves. What about you, brother? What do you think? What do you think about this game?
Yeah, look, Mitchell Moses is a big loss for this Eels. He's an elite half, and having him not there definitely changes things. Yeah, look, I didn't see last week's game, so I don't know what this Blaze Talangi guy's like, other than the highlight of him running over Tommy Turbo, which nobody does, and so, man, if that's anything to go off, it looks like he's a hard runner of the ball. Dylan Brown, gets to step up. I think he's definitely had a better start to the season than he did last year. He's looking comfortable, and he's looking like he's, going back to that, I wouldn't say elite status, but on his way to that top tier halfback. Look, as long as you got that forward pack of Campbell Gillard, Polo, Offered Hungawi, Madison, Hopgood, you're always going to have a shot. Even Tuolangi's been pretty good. But this West Tigers team, look, I just think last week was a fluke, if I'm being honest. Yeah, look, I don't really know what to say.
I think I just love underdogs.
I mean, look, between the two, I've got the Eels winning. I know Moses ain't there, and Cartwright has an injury with his ribs, but he might play through it, or he might be out as well, so we're kind of not too sure how that's going to play out. But I still expect them to get the job done on Easter Monday. Yeah, so their one's like how the Bulldogs, how we always play Souths on Good Friday. These two teams always clash on Easter Monday, so it's their traditional game as well. I forgot that the West Tigers signed the Wellington winger or the Super Rugby winger, Solomon Alaimalo. Yeah, obviously he hasn't been, cracked the starting team yet, but I know he's in the New South Wales Cup team. He's playing wing, so interesting to see how he's going or how he's going to go.
I think he's just trying to get the reps up, get his head around league.
Yeah, definitely. But yeah, look, good to hear. I know, good to see that Lachlan Galvin guy is killing it. From what I'm seeing, what I'm hearing, he's the early favourite for Rookie of the Year, and rightfully so. Rightfully so. But at the end of the day, I think the Eels are too good. So I'm rolling with the Eels. Final score, I'm going to go with... let's try 24 to... I'm going to go 24-12.
Ooh, okay. Well, let's base it off some stats here. So we've dived into all the stats so far this week. So last year in their two meetings, Parramatta won 28-22 against the Tigers Leichhardt, and the second game must have been at bloody Magic Round. In the second game, the Eels won 28-20. So the Tigers lost both games last year, but they weren't too far off the pace. Wins this season, Tigers have 1 out of 2 wins, because remember they had the bye in round 1. The Eels have lost 1 game to the Penrith Panthers, and they have beaten all their other opponents. The Parramatta Eels have scored 72 points and allowed 58, where the Tigers have scored 44 and allowed 38 points. So they have a stronger defense, but they've played 1 less game, so keep that in mind. Their completion rate is identical at 84%, and their tackle efficiency is almost identical. Parramatta at 88, Tigers at 87. Average points scored, this is where your 24 comes in. The average points scored by Parramatta is 24. Average points conceded is 19. Tigers' average points scored is 22, with the average points conceded was 19. So those 22 would have been bumped up after last week's game. I've got to go with the Tigers. I'm going to go 24-20. I think it's going to be an arm wrestle of a game, and I think it's going to come down to one last try, and I think Uppy won't be so alone. I think he'll be out there with a bit of confidence in his team that they can compete. Captain Uppy has been a great captain for the Tigers so far. He's really turned that culture around, and I think with Benji on his side, sky's the limit. I don't think it's going to be a blowout by any means. I do think it could go either way, and I'm hoping it goes the way of the Tigers, and that's why I say 20-24 to the way of the Tigers. Man of the match, we'll go with Uppy once again. Just because, yeah, he's that guy. So that's our roundup of this week's round 4. Looking forward to it. The game I'm obviously most looking forward to is the Broncos Cowboy, the derby. Which game are you looking forward to the most?
Honestly, it's tonight's game. Roosters Panthers. Blockbuster,
Yeah.
battle of the top 4.
Even without Cleary?
Even without Cleary, it'd be interesting. I just want to see what they look like without him. You know, I mean, we'll get a better look when Origin rolls around, when we know he won't be there. But yeah, look, I think it's still going to be a good game.
Fair enough. Alrighty, now we'll head over to our TAB segment again. I'm like 0-1,000,000 with these so far. I don't suck. It's just I feel like the Tigers killed everybody's multis in the weekend, so you all lost as well. Don't try and play no bullshit. So I told you guys about the TJB trifecta. Try and get the Tom, Jake, and Ben Travojevic anytime score in a match. It's at 51.00 payout, so I put $15 on that with a 765 return. My head-to-head multi this week, I've got the Roosters over Penrith. I've got the Bulldogs over Souths. I've got the Broncos over the Cowboys. I've got Manly over the Dragons, the Dolphins over the Titans. I've got the Warriors over the Knights, Canberra over the Sharks, and the Tigers over the Eels. I put $40 on that, and the payout is $6,586.
Jeez. That's okay. To all our listeners, you already know that I just do head-to-head. We keep it nice and simple here, and it was just with a $10 bet. So my winners for the week, I have the Roosters, Rabbitohs, Cowboys, Manly, Dolphin, Wars, Raiders, and the Eels. So that 8-leg multi for $10 has a potential return of $510.
Nice.
Yeah, that's me, man. We keep it simple over here.
One thing we talked about in the group chat, I'm not too sure if the pros agreed to this, but what I have said is that if we do start winning some money off these multis, that we should invest in Swish and get some of those superstars to give our the Practice Run podcast, a shout out so that we can build an intro. So if we start winning whānau and you hear us with a cool intro, that means we've made some money and we've got the likes of Willie Mason and who else is on there? Josh Adokar, Josh Curran, Reese Walsh, Jordan Ricky, Katoni Staggs, Paddy Carrigan, Payne Haas, Adam Reynolds, Api Kurasau, Nathan Cleary's on there, I'm pretty sure. I know To'o's on there, Luai's on there, so we can, even though I hate them, but the young folk, they love them. Everyone loves a bandwagon. Nico Hines is on there, so we can get him on as well. So, and then within our request, we can also ask the question of, oh, would you ever jump on our potty? If you say yes, hit us up with your email address in this response. But anyway, Fano, as we begin to wrap up, my English is gone. Don't forget, leave a comment of your favorite player down below on our YouTube video. If you're listening to this on Spotify or anything, go over to our YouTube. Just comment down below. You don't have to listen to the whole thing all over again. Just comment down below who your favorite player is. And if you get called out, should we leave it for a week? Or should we just draw it to the next one? Do we give it a bit of time for people to listen to? What do you reckon?
Yeah, give it a week.
Give it a week. So
that's enough time.
Next Thursday, we'll draw the winner.
Yeah.
All right, sweet as. So there you go, Fano. Next Thursday, we will ship this worldwide. So if you live in America, Russia, England, Altara, no matter where in the world you live, win that comp, and this is all yours. Yeah. So that's all from me, Fano. Thank you all so much for listening. I'll throw it over to Tu to close out the show.
Man, good to be back, and this should be a good weekend for everyone travelling this Easter holiday. Please travel safe, look after each other, and hopefully we enjoy our time. But that's it from us here at the Practice Fund. We will see you next Tuesday. Chur to the chur, mā te wā.